Why is it that we often find ourselves avoiding eye contact in certain situations, and what does this seemingly simple gesture really mean? Have you ever been in a crowded elevator, standing shoulder to shoulder with strangers, and felt the need to look down at your shoes or up at the numbers on the display panel, rather than make eye contact with those around you? Or perhaps you've been in a job interview, your palms sweating, heart racing, and you can't help but fidget rather than maintain steady eye contact with the interviewer. These everyday scenarios are just a glimpse into the intricate web of unspoken social cues that revolve around eye contact. Imagine a moment from your childhood, perhaps when you were caught doing something you shouldn't have been. You knew you had broken the rules, and as your parents stared at you with those disapproving eyes, you found yourself looking down, unable to hold their gaze. That's the power of eye contact. It can convey a myriad of emotions, from love and trust to disapproval and guilt. In many cultures, maintaining eye contact is seen as a sign of confidence, honesty, and respect. It's a way of saying, I'm engaged in this conversation, and I have nothing to hide. However, there are several reasons why people might choose to avoid eye contact, and it's not always a negative sign. It's essential to understand that avoiding eye contact is not always a conscious decision. Sometimes, it's a result of social anxiety or shyness. Let's go back to that crowded elevator scenario. If you're an introvert or someone who experiences social anxiety, maintaining eye contact with strangers might feel like an overwhelming task. In this context, avoiding eye contact is not a sign of disrespect or deceit, but rather a coping mechanism to manage the discomfort of the situation. Furthermore, people may avoid eye contact when they're deep in thought or trying to recall information. Have you ever asked a question to a friend who then looked away while thinking before answering? This momentary lack of eye contact is a natural part of the thought process and isn't indicative of any ulterior motives. On the flip side, avoiding eye contact can also be a deliberate choice. For example, during a job interview, you might be nervous and anxious about the impression you're making. In such a scenario, you may unintentionally break eye contact to collect your thoughts and regain composure. It doesn't necessarily mean you're being dishonest. Imagine you're in a heated argument with a loved one. The intensity of the emotions involved can make it difficult to maintain eye contact. This avoidance isn't necessarily a sign of deceit. It could be a way to avoid escalating the conflict. In such cases, looking away can be an attempt to cool off and find the right words to express oneself more effectively. Cultural differences also play a significant role in how we interpret eye contact. In some cultures, direct eye contact is encouraged and seen as a sign of respect, while in others, it may be considered rude or confrontational. Understanding these cultural nuances is essential to avoid misinterpreting someone's intentions. In essence, avoiding eye contact doesn't always indicate dishonesty, disrespect, or guilt. It can be a result of social anxiety, shyness, deep thought, or even a coping mechanism to manage intense emotions. To truly understand what avoiding eye contact means in a given situation, we need to consider the context, individual personality, and cultural background.